Hello, a couple more things about the file chooser. Yeah, this is the dialog with all the file chooser stuff in it, and I think last time we already looked at the location chooser. This would just show you only directories. And now there is a create a file chooser, kind of a save as action. And yeah, this is very much work in progress, but let's see. So what's different here is now that there's a huge ass text input here at the bottom where you are supposed to type the name of the new file. We could put some more hints here, but I hope in most cases we will have a default name, and then it's clear what should be put here, or we have a placeholder here. And yeah, the way it's supposed to work is that you select a location somewhere that you like, maybe directly in your home directory, and then you can add the name here of the file that you want to create there, and then you can select it and it appears here in this text input, or there's a direct action that you can do with it. It could be a regular save as dialog and it would say save here if Cockpit would be such an application. I think we will use this for specifying a new disk image when creating virtual machines as the initial thing, and then stuff like that. But I think we also have things like exporting Ansible playbooks, and we could use it there as a regular save as file dialog. So here's the hint where the location is. This is not editable. Looks a bit bad now because I haven't spent any effort here to make it look nice. It's the same information as here at the top. I thought maybe it's helpful to repeat it here to make it more obvious what's going on, that this is the thing that you're going to create. Maybe there should be a label here as well. Another thing is, if you now click on something here, it's not going to be selected, but it will be used as the file name here. And the idea is also that there's an extra step that already now checks whether this file already exists or not, and if it does, the button here turns red and you go into the warning mode that this is already in use, or that it already exists, and you need to confirm that you want to actually override it. But of course in this case there should also be a warning here under the text input here, so that you don't forget about this. And the actual overriding would only happen when you apply this dialog here, where you first collect all the information for the operation. So yeah, let's have a look at it again. Yeah, any ideas are of course welcome, how to style this, how to lay this out. Here's one more button. If you save something, you might want to create a directory for it, and we could of course now rely on the Unix knowledge of people, and here there's a hint with the slashes here, and they will get exposed to path names all the time anyway, so we could just say people have to type the directories here if they want to create them, and that should then be part of the operation. But the traditional thing is of course to have a button to do this, and I've implemented this also, and this is now the third level of stacking dialogues. If we stack dialogues, I think there's no stopping. We don't need to stop at 2. We can go to infinity and beyond with the stacking of dialogues. So now you get here, you can write your directory name here and then create it. This doesn't actually happen now. That is also not implemented, but there would then some code would run to actually create the directory and then navigate to it also, I guess. Yeah, that is the first iteration of a save as dialog. And then I've figured out that you can put hints into text inputs with pattern fly, and then I've mocked up, or not mocked up, it's actually real. I implemented some autocompletion here for keyboard users. So if you now, for example, start to type and you want to go to var lib word or somewhere, then you start to type the V, and Cockpit already gives you the suggestion. Okay, there's only one thing that that starts with V, and you can just type it all in by pressing the right button, the right arrow button on your keyboard. And then the same happens with lib after li, and then there's lib word also comes very quickly, and then there's images, and that's how you can get there quite quickly. And from that on, there's no way to really list. So now I know I have this file here, but I don't want this, so maybe now I go and browse. Actually, then it opens in this directory, and yeah, this is the only one, and there's some other things. Maybe I want this. This is also a QCOW image, but somehow it doesn't have the extension, so let's just select it and it appears here. You might have noticed that when the autocompletion hint appears, the whole thing looks a little bit crap. So there's some, this is actually two texts overlaid over each other, and I think the font rendering makes that look a bit weird. Or maybe that's intentional, I don't know, but in any case it works. Yeah, maybe we keep that, maybe we make it look better, and of course we should debounce it and everything. Okay, but that's it. Thanks a lot.